My name is Jeremiah Witherspoon. Everybody call me Coach Spoon. Live here in Altoona, Pennsylvania. Visited from Trenton, New Jersey. Got a boxing gym, Scorchin Boxing, in Altoona. You know, boxing is it. Boxing is everything. Just coaching, training, mentoring, helping, building people, connecting people. You know, and putting people in a nice positive space, and positive affirmation, joy, happiness, all of it.
All right, Christy, thank you for that. If you're looking for something fun to do this weekend, how about a night of boxing? It's all happening at a local gym. Our Morgan Kosiar has been there all morning. This morning, she's at Scorchin Boxing Gym in Altoona visiting with the man himself, Spoon. Morgan, tell him I said what's up and tell us more about this big event coming up this weekend.
Casey, sounds good to me. Good morning to you. Spoon, Casey's saying hello.
My man, Casey, what's up, man? How we?
Tell everybody about this event coming up this weekend.
Yeah, tomorrow, April 3rd, we have amateur boxing is back. It's the Spring Fever, Scorcher Spring Fever. We got fighters coming from all over the region, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Washington, D.C., Philadelphia. Amateur boxing shows. It's going to be great. Come out, don't miss it. You will see a lot of action-packed future champions here. It's phenomenal.
Growing up, my mom and dad had 4 sisters total. Growing up in the city capital of Trenton, it was definitely it was different. It was good. Violence is everywhere, but the household is where you find your peace and love. You got all your instructions, all your morals and values. So, but yeah, it was it was a good area in that time.
So, at what age did you become involved in sports, and was that something that you was into ever since you
got involved in sports. I've been in sports since I was 4 years old.
Oh, wow.
I've been playing basketball since I was 4. Played football and baseball. I played all the sports growing up. My father, he was a director at this assistant director for the Westward League. It was like a PAL league, and so he went to different locations in the city. So he was more of a mentor in the city as well. My mother, she worked at she was a secretary at a school. So so we had good principals growing up. My dad eventually he worked at Princeton University. So my parents they're everything. Again, my sisters, growing up with sisters, it was it was good because they kept me straight too. It was good. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Back on the deck. Stay low. Keep the shoulders turned. Fire. Keep the shoulders turned. Keep the shoulders turned. Fire.
At that time, you said you played football, basketball, and baseball. Boxing wasn't prevalent at the time.
No, but boxing was something that it was always intrigued by. I was always intrigued by boxing. I mean, I had a cousin, Tim Witherspoon from Philadelphia. He was a world champion. So we had fighting in our in the family. Right. So that was always something. And then my grandfather, he was a big boxing fan. My grandfather on my mom's side, we had a mom and pop store in New Jersey. So he was a big boxing fan. He had all the boxing from Joe Louis to Muhammad Ali, all the old school fighters. He had them. They took the newspaper, put them all around in the store. So when you came in, you see nothing but boxing in the store. So I was mesmerized by that too as well. So yeah, it was boxing was always in the place. So
Right. So you did play college football as well, right?
yeah, I played college football down at Glenville State. Glenville State, West Virginia.
And can you tell us what that was like for a little bit?
Glenville State, it was we had one traffic light. At Glenville State, coming from the city, inner city, to, I mean, you in the backwoods of West Virginia. It was totally different. It was definitely a different atmosphere. It was a definitely different scenery, obviously. But you know, through that scenery, you know, you learn to connect with, you know, other people, really. And so, you know, you again, a rural area, in the woods. But it was good. I graduated in 2001. Again, I played college football down there. I was first team 97, 99. Played outside linebacker down there, so it was good. It is what it was. So.
And you tried out for the NFL.
It was
well.
So it was a team. So we tried out. It was a actual tryout. You had the Buffalo Bills and the Cardinals, and it was like a tryout there. And those two teams were there. You know, obviously I didn't make the team and or get picked or anything like that, but it was just the experience factors of it. To know that that you had an opportunity to, potentially get looked at, but that wasn't the case. That was a little bit later on. So I graduated in 2001. That was a tryout was in 04, 05 or something like that, whenever it was. So, but then then when it didn't happen, I just got straight into boxing at the Altoona, PA, Altoona, PA, which is the UVA, where they have boxing in Altoona. So.
Let's hear that beat. Ready, go? Hey, do that again. We're gonna call it. Do that again. Do it again. 1, 2, 1, 2. Do that again. Do that again. It's called a song called "Do That Again." Here we go. Ready, go? Do that again. Do that again. Do that again. Do that again.
When you got into boxing, did you already have it in your mind that you wanted to coach people, or was you doing it more so for yourself?
Well, when I got into the boxing factors, I was training because when I moved from West Virginia, first let's back up a little bit. I moved from West Virginia to Altoona in 2000. It was December 2004 to 2005. So I was really technically training for football, but boxing was always something that I like to do, that I love to do, that I wanted to do. And so I got into boxing training too through the process of trying out, you know what I'm saying, for the Bills and the Cardinals. That was up in New York. I forget where that was actually at. But yeah, so when I didn't make the team, it was like, well, I love the boxing. So I started, training. I love the box. I love to hit the bag and X, Y, and Z. Mr. Johnny Robinson, he had it over 50-something years, the boxing down in the UVA. And it was something, when I met him, it was just an automatic connection. So I just started training. And then, it was a guy by the name of John Scalzi. He was a pro fighter, and I think he fought Zab Judah back in the time, back in back in '90, I think it was. He fought him, but he was in the gym, and he was like, "Hey, look, you all right? You might got something." So I kind of took that initiative, and I was like, you know what? Let me give it a shot. So that's what I did, and I wound up fighting amateurs. I think my first amateur fight was like 07. And then I fought amateurs, did the Golden Gloves. I was a Golden Gloves in the western part of PA. And then I lost to what's his name? Brandon Jennings, actually from Philly. He fought Klitschko.
Wow.
Yeah, so I lost to him. Actually, when I lost to him, and that was for the actual Pennsylvania Golden Gloves. I lost to him. It was like disqualifications because we were both holding. Yeah, so I think that was like 2008. I think that was my fault. But yeah. What happened with the coaching part was the coaching part came because so I was an amateur fighter,
right,
and then I turned pro in 2010. When I turned pro in 2010, it was 09, sorry, 2009. You know, I fought pro, and then in 2015, April 25th, 2015, I was working for a company they were called Grandis Brothers. Now, what it was, we was on the Turnpike, Pennsylvania Turnpike, and we was laying down asphalt at nighttime, and so a guy he was on drugs, off meth. He's being chased by the police on the Turnpike. He was going 85 miles per hour. Wow. And he went into our zone. And he went into our zone like a movie. They said he zigzagged and, knocked over cones. But I was standing, my back was turned, and I was standing on the shoulder, actually. And he went around our machines, and he actually hit me. Oh, wow. So yeah, I broke my neck. Glad to be alive. Tibia, they did bring me back to life. I had immediate surgery, had a collapsed lung. Thank God I'm living. What else? Yeah, so the end of my career, boxing career, I broke my neck. Wow. And my C4 in my neck. So yeah, so that recovery was a long recovery. And then when they told me that, and I was just like, you know what? Since I know I can't, fight no more, and we just looking to get into space, and that's pretty much kind of how it went, pretty much. And but I mean, with the boxing, I was, as I was still amateur and pro, I was still training kids through that process. Right. You know what I'm saying? So I was still helping out, working out, building them and stuff like that. So even though I didn't know, I started learning more when my coach, Tyrone Storer, he came into the picture, and he started teaching me the real true essence of it. He's from Philadelphia, and so he's from the Executioner Gym, which is the B-Hop gym. So, once he started teaching me that, and then from that point on, it was like, okay, I kind of figured it out, like, on the level of like how to really execute in boxing. You know what I'm saying? But in the beginning, it was just like hitting the bags, and but he gave me Tyrone ties. We call him Ty. He gave me the dynamics to actual how to actually execute in box. You know what I'm saying? And then I had my cousin Wayne. He helped out. He was helping out with coaching and stuff like that. So we had a nice little team, a nice little run. So
when did Scorchin boxing come into play, and was that something that you came up with?
Yeah. Oh yeah. With 2000, what's that? 2016, I think we started. 2016. Yeah, we got started. Almost 10 years. 10 years. We almost in the building. It was just a name popped up. It was just. I was like, we hot.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But that's just pretty much it.
Casey, good morning to you. That's right, we are live this morning in Altoona at Scorchin Boxing Gym here. I'm going to step out of the way here to give you a look here. We've got Spoon here, the owner-operator. He's giving them some pad work right now. He is training these guys. They are gearing up for a pretty big show this weekend. Saturday, like I said, we're here on Beale Avenue. We're going to have them come right in here. Spoon, come here. Tell us about this show coming up this weekend and why you guys do this.
This week, it's a Spring Fever boxing show, it's an amateur show. We got fighters coming in from all over, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Virginia, D.C. It's just it's an amateur show, and we're just glad to be back in running boxing. So We also doing some of our proceeds will be going to our LOT program, which is Leaders of Tomorrow. So we're building the youth, building the mentoring the youth as well. So we're very excited about it.
What's your favorite part about all this? Why you do it?
Just me personally, I love to help people, and I love to see the gratification of them growing as individuals, and just I like to build people.
Yeah.
So spiritually.
I mean, myself being from a city that you're from a fight town too as well, so you know that being here, logically, that you have to go there.
Yeah.
You got to go to cities like Philly, D.C., Baltimore, Jersey, North Trenton, New York.
Yeah.
You know where you got to go. I mean, you got Pittsburgh, you got Ohio, Cleveland, those areas, Detroit, those areas that Erie. You need to go to get to get the fight game going, and it's in a decent distance, right? So 3-4 hours is not bad. I mean, we live about 3.5-4 hours from Altoona to Trenton, but from DC it's about 2.5, 2:45 in Baltimore. So you take those trips, man, and to get the real work and get the realization of the fight game, because a lot of champions and a lot of potential prospects come out of those cities. So you gotta get there. I think for me, it was more about really helping them mentally. You know what I'm saying? I think, again, boxing to me is everybody got a fight in them. Number one, we all have some type of fight in us. No matter whatever we're going through something. So I think with boxing gives you the physical part to display what you may be possibly going through. And and hitting the bag, and hitting the speed bag, hitting the heavy bag, doing pad work, all those things are very useful, and they're very they're needed, because like I said before, anytime you get mad, guess what you want to do? You want to hit something.
Yeah.
We all do, right? But okay, well, hit the pads, hit the bag, So we understand that factors of the fight, the mental fight. You know what I'm saying? And then putting the mental fight into a reality, but in a controlled environment.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So really, boxing is about really controlling your violence.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
It's really what it is. You know what I'm saying? And I don't mean to say violent, just more of controlling you, because now the dynamics become you start becoming disciplined.
Yeah, I was thinking.
Right.
Yeah.
And and what I like about the gym, and I like what I do, is you get kids that come in the gym, and even when kids with all type of problems, behavior problems to family problems, and sometimes they think that they big and bad. Well, until they get in the boxing ring, they all get this wake up call that you're not as bad as you think you are. Because as you out doing what you doing, terrorizing the school, whatever that is, or terrorizing your family, your mom, your dad, whatever that is, when you come in that gym, all of it stopped, because there's a whole bunch of terrorized individuals that's in control, that has control about themselves.
Right.
And then they'll learn that day.
Right. Right.
What you say? You gonna learn today?
Yeah.
They gonna learn that day about discipline, and then what happens is that individual that never been in the gym, and I'll give you a prime example. I had a kid. Oh, it was rough. It was rough. He was young. He's about 12 years old. Out of control. And And his father, came to me and be like, hey, look, my son needs discipline. He acting up at school and X, Y, and Z. And so I had two of my young fighters. Now, he was 13. They were 10 and 9, 10 and 11. I think they were like 10 and 9, 10 and 11, something like that. He was about 13. So he was going, he ready. Once he got to the gym, he's like, he's out of control. Father said, he's out of control. And he wanted to fight. He wanted to fight in there. So this is the only time I did this. I called my two young ones over. I said, come here. I said, let's teach him a little lesson. I said, don't hurt him. Now, they 10 and 11. He's about 13, 14. You know what I'm saying? That's a big gap in between 13, 14, and the 10-year-old. Yeah, no. That's a big gap in between them. But I knew, he didn't actually know what he was doing. So I said, put that headgear on, young man. Put the headgear on. And they put their headgear on. He got a rude awakening real quick. And then he was almost kind of embarrassed because he was older and bigger, and they was younger. They were a lot smaller than him. So that gave him a realization. And then I'm telling you, from that point on, this kid was, they said he didn't listen to school, but when I got a hold of him, he did all he had to do, 100 burpees. He did them. All right. He did them. He did everything that, everything that was sought out to be done. And he has been in the gym in a while, but so those things cover that and plus I don't play anyway. Right. Yeah, at the end of the day. So, when you come in here, you're gonna respect the gym, and you're gonna respect everything that's in there. So
without saying too much, we do have a fighter that's, going through some trials right now, trials and tribulations. Corey Lopez.
Police say a local boxer was arrested this weekend and is facing criminal homicide charges after a fight outside an Altoona bar left one man dead. That's where we begin 6 News at 5. Thank you for joining us.
Our Emily Marinas has more on what the Blair County District Attorney and Altoona Police are saying happened and why they're saying that it was not self-defense. Emily?
Well, Sean and Jen, according to this criminal complaint, Corey Lopez was taken into custody early Sunday morning after a fight outside of the Kettle Inn on South Kettle Street left a man dead. According to the complaint, police found the victim of the fight lying in the middle of the street surrounded by a group of people around 1 a.m. Multiple witnesses told police there was a large multi-person fight outside of the Kettle Inn. Lopez told police he was attempting to break that fight up. A GoFundMe is circulating on Facebook today in support of Lopez's defense case, claiming that Lopez was attempting to protect someone he loves. It states that his family is trying to ensure that he has proper legal representation and a fair chance to tell his side of the story.
Without speaking on the case or anything, just can you get a little bit into who Corey is to Scorchin boxing?
Corey, he was what, 13? I think he was 13 or 14, something like that. And he was always a spontaneous kid. He fought amateurs. I think his first fight was, he might have been 15 or 16, I think it was. I'm not sure. But no, he's a good kid. 3 kids. He got 3 kids. Situations, time and place is sometimes you're in a rough spot. But as far as him, he's a good kid. He's 34 now. He's a very slick fighter. That's kind of his trademark. I think he got over 40 amateur fights or something like that, 40, 50. He's 2-0 as a pro. And then you just battle with some legal, things, and where, individual, they got deceased in the altercation. But, you pray on that situation, the other family situation. You pray in regards to, what's been lost on that side. But you know, it's a trial situation that's happening. So we're just praying for both sides, pretty much.
Right.
In regards to that.
In those type of situations, because you have so many people that come through the gym, and you know, we're the Scorchin boxing, you know, banner. Do you feel like, I know it's impossible to kind of be there for everybody, you know, throughout that. So how do you balance maintaining your life and then still kind of like being there for the people in your gym as well?
Well, you know, it's tough. I mean, you know, but whatever God got your calling and do, you have to do it.
Yeah, definitely.
Right. So you know, you gotta learn to adjust your time. You gotta learn to adjust your family time. You gotta learn to adjust all times to you know, be able to be productive in that time and in that space. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
And so, you know, there are, you know, we travel. Like I said, we travel a lot, and you know, my kids is my kids, but you know, it's part of the job. It's part of the business.
Yeah, I know.
Right.
Yeah.
So those things are, you know, are part of what you signed up for. And so, with that being said, it's a balance. You got to balance it. You have to be. You got to be very. I learned patience. Patience is the key. Patience. So, you know, I try not to overreact on things, and people pretty much know me, how I move. They know, you know, I try not to get too much in my emotions and none of that. I just stay within the logic of what the situation is, and stay in the power of now. I stay in the moment, because the moment is what counts. Because at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? So we try to keep it logically, and stay, you know, stay within the moment pretty much.
Okay. So we talked a little bit about Corey, but who are some of your other fighters that you currently have that we should keep an eye out for?
We got some good fighters. We got Lauren Michaels, our female pro. She's really good. I mean, her record. We took some tough losses, but but we want to come back and rise with her. So we got some things that we got to improve with. Then we got Birds, our career Golson, and then we have Mason Camper. These two of our younger, the 12 and 13-year-olds. They potentially may be some national champions here. We got Braden Spawn coming up. He's had several amateur fighters. Edwin Franklin. He just fought last week. He won. Did a pretty decent job, but he's moving. He's moving from me, which is good. It's good for him. Good for his family.
Congratulations.
Congratulations to him. You know, we got a bunch of individuals that's in there that's coming up. So, yeah, I mean, it's just about the commitment and the discipline at the end of the day. We got good coaches out. We have some good coaches that's in there. We have Brody. He helps out. He's a big asset. Coach Flores is a big asset. I love them guys. And then we got Mr. Feathers, Randy Feathers. He's been helping out, and so it's a good. We have a good combination. Everybody got they have something good about what they bring to the table.
Right.
So it's good. Yeah.
So you have a lot of people come through the gym. I mean, some probably actually want to box, some probably want to get in shape. But what is it that you look for in somebody that you actually are considering coaching as a fighter or bringing them into actually fighting?
So I've learned, honestly, I've learned to, whatever you give me, that's what I'm going to give you.
Right.
If you give me 50%, well, I'm going to give you 50%.
Right.
If you give me 100, I'm going to give you 100. But I've learned is you're not going to give me 49, I'm going to get 50. No, we ain't going to do that. right? So I've learned to, whatever you give me, that's what I'm gonna give you. And you have to be real like that because, you know, at the end of the day, a lot of trainers that I talk to, coaches, a fighter could just be like, one day you put all that time in him, guess what? One day he might be like, or she might be like, I'm done. You might be like, like, that might be it. Without no indication, nothing, because in your mind, you're thinking, hey, look, we're going to the top. You know what I mean? We're going here. We spoke about it. We agreed upon it. And they might be like, I'm done. You know, so that happens. Now, you can't fault them, no, because you know what? Change of heart happens. They might get new jobs. They might go to school. Locations might happen. So I've learned not to put everything in one basket. That's what I've learned through boxing. So, and if you're going to go hard, you're going to go hard. I'm going to go with you. But I'm only, whatever you give me, that's what I'm going to give you. Okay. That's it. And that's for even future coaches and that people that want to train. I mean, because what happens is you're so passionate about it that they ain't. And you don't know what their agenda is, right? So you have to really, and that comes with time, that comes with experience, that comes with me being around like coaches like Calvin and Sugar Ray Leonard's gym. He's like the head coach up there. I go to Sugar Ray Leonard's gym. We go to Tank Gym. We go out there. We deal with Calvin and Kenny out there. I go out there to their gym and stuff like that. So you start learning. You start learning being around these top coaches, and you start seeing like, you know, and then you get advice from them. And then even out in Pittsburgh, you know, I deal with a lot of coaches out there. So it's you start picking up things and you start understanding things. And then another thing is, as a coach and as a trainer, you can't be too afraid to ask another coach or trainer, you know, because boxing becomes an ego. You know what I mean? Like sometimes some guys think they know everything. No, even with fighters too, you know. So me, I'll be asking questions like, "What do y'all do?" Or you know, what like. Does this happen just at our gym? Does it happen at your gym? Like, you know, you get the inconsistency of fighters, and you know, you get like, but it happens everywhere. I've been out in Oakland, my man. I'm Benjamin out in Oakland. We fought out there, but we got a connection out there now. So I just talked to him last week, but yeah, like it's every gym around the world. So it's really discipline, man, and it's about like how truly disciplined are you? Really.
Okay. So you mentioned a lot of different coaches and stuff like that. What is it like traveling on the road for fights, and what are some of the experiences that you think were like your best moments, you know, in traveling and you know stuff like that?
Man, the journey, just going to the fights. You know, you've been in there with us. We have fun.
Yeah, no, it's cool
because it's you know, you remember that time. You know, you remember the music. You remember where you stopped at. You remember going out to eat. You remember those are what counts. Yeah, obviously the fight counts. You know, but it's the journey of it. It's the journey of traveling. It's the journey of interlocking, and being able to build bridges with different, you know, people and coaches and fans, and you know, it's a I actually, it's boxing got me things that I never thought that I could ever imagine. You know, I've been out to Vegas, been out to Cali, you know, obviously I've been to Florida, but I'm just saying, like, you know, these places we're going, it's like boxing it's very the experience factors of it is, it's awesome, man. It's awesome. And then you meet, you know, I mean, you look at a fight, everybody's watching that fight, and you got stars in there, you got celebrities in there, and you meeting people all the time. So, you know, I mean that it's not about the subway part, but I meant like, as far as the journey part and getting ready and preparing and traveling. It can get exhausted, you know, if you're all over around the country, around the world, you know. But it took me places that, you know, I've never been to. Never thought I would ever be to.
Yeah, definitely, man. Definitely. Do you ever feel like a local celebrity sometimes?
Oh no, ain't no local celebrity.
I mean, only just because, like, I mean, it seems like you know a lot of people. You know, a lot of people know you. When I came out here, when people spoke of a boxing gym, they brought you up. I've been here in Cold Spoon since I've been out here for about 6-7 years now.
Oh really?
Yeah, so I've been out here a while, and
oh wow.
when I did hear about the gym and heard about boxing, that was the first name I heard was Cold Spoon.
Okay.
You know what Cold Spoon is? You been to the gyms? And obviously not, but now I've actually met you in person, so
Yeah.
I can say from my perspective that a lot of people know who you are. But I wanted to know if it feels the same for you.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you know, I do know a lot. I do know a lot of people. I do know a lot of people, and because I'm everywhere. And I don't mean everywhere. I just think that, like me, I'm an individual that I can connect with anybody. And I say hi. I come to the room and I'm just, hey, what's up, everybody? Like, I'll shake everybody, whatever that is. I'll shake your hand, whatever. So it's just an automatic connection. It's human nature for me. I think it's just natural. So you know, you create those relationships with people, and I mean, I don't know. I just try to change the environment in a positive way wherever I'm at, and I don't know. That's just me. I just love positive energy, man. I like to embrace that, and I like to put that on people. So, but yeah, I mean, I know quite a few people, so it's a blessing too.
Definitely. Okay, so my next question is like I said before, we have a lot of people in the gym. How important is it to maintain that community? And because I mean, it's kind of like you're overseeing, you know, what's going on as far as the people and stuff like that. Because I'm sure that, you know, might have people in the gym that might not like each other or whatever the case is. How do you handle overseeing all of that?
Well, you know, I mean, you see things. It's like your house, right? But you know what's going on in your house. Yeah. For the most part, I mean, you know 90% of it.
Yeah, most of it. Yeah.
Right. So it's the same thing, and you know, you see things. Sometimes you might not say nothing. I might not say nothing, but I might let something ride to see if I really see what I'm seeing. Right. But I just keep a positive attitude, and you know, me being a leader in the gym, if you keep the attitude, well, the radiation will fulfill others in the gym. They might have issues they might have in the gym. It might be from work, it might be from school, it might be from whatever it may be. But my goal is to keep it lifted. Now, even no matter what I'm going through, I have to still be mindful of it's the gym, it's your business, and you got to make it your business to keep it uplifting. You know what I'm saying? No matter what. Okay. So you know, but they say sometimes we don't want to go to work, but we gotta go to work, right?
Yeah.
So it's the same thing. That's my same mindset. That's my same concept of how I view it and how I look into the factors of what needs to be still, regardless of what you might be going through at home or whatever. But when you hit the gym, I'm gonna lift that thing up, or I'm gonna ride you. Right.
Oh, that was good. Oh, goodness. Man, keep that voice, man. Oh. Bring that hook. Bring that left hook.
All right, so just real quick, you do solo sessions and classes. Can you just tell us, how they can get in contact with you, where they can find you when you're available?
Contact, you can get on Scorchin Boxing, Facebook Scorchin Boxing, Scorchin Boxing, Instagram. You can call it 814-660-4928. We got classes Monday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, 4:15 to 5:30, ages 7 to 12. But we got dads that come to that class. You can come to that class. It doesn't matter really truly age. We just got that. But a lot of our youth come to that class. But then we also have adults in that. But for the most part, the next class is 5:30 to 7 p.m. And then we pretty much got all type of intermediate. We have fighters in that group. We got people that never boxed before. But I think it's all collectively is good because sometimes you have to see how others look too. Like people can pick up and watch somebody, you know what I'm saying, in the midst of things. So that's why I collectively bring it all together. And because when you have actual fighters in the group, it pushes everybody else.
Right.
It motivates everybody else. You know what I'm saying? So, and then it also just gives a different drive and a different energy to the setting of the gym. So, but yeah, Monday, Tuesday, Thursdays, 4:15 to 5:30, and then 5:30 to 7 p.m.
Do you have any words of motivation or any wise words you could share with the viewers?
I'm big on this word. To prepare for tomorrow, you gotta do your best today. To prepare for tomorrow, you have to do your best today. Today. To prepare for tomorrow, you gotta do your best today. Sometimes we think that success happens overnight, and it doesn't. And these even with fighters too, they think they see the glory, and they see how these individuals that's making this money, millions of dollars, they was a journey, and so your preparation is always right now, because it's easy. You say tomorrow, you always keep putting it off. So you want to start right now, not now. I mean right now, and then when you get that in your mindset, then you start becoming in a routine where I need to do this right now versus tomorrow, because tomorrow may never get here. So that's why I tell them all to prepare for tomorrow. You have to do your best today.
Definitely.